Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the series Coding in R using ChatGPT. This one's going to be a little bit different, covering the basics of content analysis, a really popular research method that takes text or qualitative data and then assigns numbers to it so that we can use statistical methods and find trends in text and different kinds of interesting things. So let's just dive into an example here. Let's assume we have 6 comments. These are YouTube comments that are AI generated off of ChatGPT, and these comments read, "Oh, this video is amazing," with a heart emoji, or "Shake my head, total waste of time," and they kind of go on and on. And so the first step to coding these texts, and doing content analysis, is to create a coding scheme. And ChatGPT has created us a very basic one here for positive and negative. So we're going to assign 1 if positive sentiment is present and 0 otherwise. Similarly for negative, 1 for negative sentiment if it's present and 0 otherwise. So typically coding is done at the very least in Excel, not usually in R, but let's just do it here. Ratings equals to, well, I think it's positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, and negative. And then, the negative ratings in this case would just be the opposite of the ones and zeros here. A different rating scheme that you could use besides this absence presence 1 0 kind of scheme, which is very common. And it's not just common, you can also, comes with pretty good interpretability because you can count the number of positive comments, I suppose, in this case. Like the number of comments tagged, if we, save this and then we sum the ratings. 3. So 3 comments in this case were positive. You could do sum ratings divided by length of ratings. So that's 6. So 50% of comments are positive in this case. And so oftentimes when you do absence presence coding 0, 1, you can compute the sum and the proportion, and those are pretty interpretable, and that's desirable. Something else you can do is you can use a 5-point unipolar scale. These are great for when constructs are kind of unidimensional, or you want to capture the magnitude of something, right? Like, this video is amazing versus, oh, nice video. Like, those are both positive, but they carry a different amount of positivity. So maybe we want to capture that. Unipolar equals to, let's say this one's a 5 because it's super strong. Shake my head, a total waste of time. That's a 0 for positivity, or that's a 1 rather, because our coding scheme says none. Loved it, can't wait for the next. I'd say that's a 4. This is awful, I regret watching. Obviously a 0 or a 1. Great editing and visuals. I'd say that's a 4. Terrible sound quality. That's a 1. So lastly, what we could do a Likert type 1 to 7 scale, or if you shift it over and transform it a little bit, it's a -3 to +3 scale. So you could also rate these as like this video is amazing. That's a 3. A total waste of time. That's a -2. Loved it. Can't wait for the next. That's a 2. This is awful. I regret watching. That's a -2. Great editing and visuals. That's a 3. And terrible sound quality. I consider that a -3. So in this case, the ratings, the Likert type scale are able to capture different kinds of information. It's able to capture the negativity part as well if it's a 1 to 7 scale. And so that's the basics of coding text, right? And content analysis codebooks can get a lot more complicated, and constructs, psychological constructs, or themes that are more nuanced than positivity and negativity can be more difficult to code, and thus the code books can get quite a bit more complex. But this is a good, easy introduction to the different ways in which you can take qualitative data like text and begin to quantify it, and then we can start analyzing that. See you in the next video.